The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
Oh, gosh.
Who's on there? Not many, eh? Jurgen's more popular than me then. No. Let's go, boys. And girls. Is there any girls? No.
Eleanor.
Sorry, Ellen.
OK, Sam, can we start with team news? Will Trezeguet be fit?
He finished a training session today. A full training session today, so if he has no reaction, he's in the squad for tomorrow. We're glad to say. The rest of our injuries are long term, as you well know, so but they're nowhere near any fitness yet. So, which is obviously a shame going into the last few games in the derby. But you know, we'll be without those players, and I've been without those players for a long time, and probably unlikely to see them before the end of the season. So we have to go with what we got.
How do you approach this game? As the home side, is the onus on you to attack?
Not particularly, no. I think that we tried to attack Manchester City, and before we knew it, we were 2-0 down. So, and we didn't play 4-4-2 like everybody suggested. We only played 4-4-1-1. So, but that didn't matter anyway. I don't think what system we played on Saturday against Manchester City, the way they started and the way they played, I don't think we would have coped with it. I think we coped with it better second half. Yes, but in the beginning they were just too good for us, and we have to accept that sometimes, and we have to accept that because they're 16 points clear in the Premier League, and even though they were hugely disappointing against Liverpool, as far as Manchester City fans are concerned, for and against us, they were in top form, and we've struggled to cope with that.
This long run in the Mersyside derby without a win,
yeah.
Do you look at this as a big opportunity to put that right?
Well, it's derby. Anything can happen in the derby matches, but nothing's happened too positively in terms of any victories. I think that we were very pleased that we got a draw at Anfield, when I think it was maybe third or second game. And really the approach has to be about nullifying like it was then, and us getting better at nullifying their attacking options, because they are accepting the goal scoring ability of Liverpool is their main strength, and we have to snuff that main strength out. We have to limit the chances, not just Mo Salah, but all across the front three and midfield. We have to shut that off. If we are to win, that's where we have to succeed first, and then after that is, can we expose them, and can we get at them defensively? Can we get a chance and put it in the back of the net? So it's much like what we did at Anfield, really, first, and then when we get possession, you know, making sure we maximise that possession. The players can do it if they really believe it. I've done not because it's different because it's a derby for me, but playing Liverpool before in other teams I've been with, we've won or we've drawn, and we've done that against the big boys on a regular basis. So I know how to do it. But players have got to know how to do it and how to go about it. But then again, it's a derby as well, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. So any given day, we do what we can do best, and we take the game and stand on the front foot and be brave. And we're very clinical when we get an opportunity, and defensively very sound. We can win.
This game obviously falls between Liverpool's two Champions League ties with Manchester City. Do you think that will have a bearing on their approach, their team selection? How do you think they'll react to such an important win for them in midweek?
Well, I think it's an advantage that we could possibly take in this game. I think if we had to play Liverpool in a derby match, it's a good time to do that. in between the two Champions League games. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And what changes Jurgen? Maybe he has a very strong squad, and they've never let him down really all season. So if he changes the team, it'll still be strong. It'll be fresh. If he keeps the same team that's hugely talented and brilliant on Wednesday but fatigued, they won't have had time to fully recover from Wednesday night's game. So I'll be interested to see his selection. But it's all about us as well, about how we and what we need to do. As I've said to the players, that I've mastered it before. So if you do the right things in the right area, and this is where it is. This is how you can get the result. I looked at Crystal Palace very closely, and again, it's Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, not Everton versus Liverpool. So it is different. But there were certain elements in the Crystal Palace game that had Christian Benteke and Wilfred been on Song more in front of goal, Crystal Palace would have won the game rather than Liverpool winning in the last minute. And if that happens to us, we have to put the ball in the back of the net. If we miss those chances, then we're giving Liverpool an opportunity to beat us.
Everton are 7th in the form table in the Premier League since you took over, yet there are still some doubters. Is this a chance to perhaps win some of those doubters over?
But where are the doubters? Have you been looking at Twitter for 2 Twitters again and Facebook for 10? I mean, your lives are really run by Facebook, Twitter and Instagram far too much. You're professional journalists. You shouldn't listen to speculating unprofessionals, which is what you're doing to get your stories too much. So be real and say there are a few that are complaining. There are a few that speculate that my reign at the end of the season is going to not be here. On many fronts, on radio, on TV, in the papers, and of course on social media. So you create the stir, but really for me that's only a small minority, sorry. And I think that is what we live with. I understand it. When Farad rings me up and says, "Sam, we don't want you anymore," then I know I'm not wanted anymore. When everybody else says I'm not wanted or I'm going to be changed, don't listen to it.
Have you had the credit you deserve for the job you've done?
It's not about me asking for credit whether I deserve it or not. It's about me doing the job for Everton Football Club the best I possibly can. And I personally don't think I could have done much more than I've done with the staff that I've got in the period of time I've been working here with the players who were in an extremely difficult position when I arrived. For instance, West Brom were above us when I got here. So look where we are now and look where West Brom is.
Okay. There's been speculation this week that PSV's technical director, Marcel Brands, could be on his way to Everton. Can you shed any light on that? What's your understanding?
I read the same papers as you and the same online, or Brian does, and tells me about it because that's his job. I think there's obviously some light in it because of where it's being written and what's coming out of PSV, but at the moment I can't speculate on what's just going to happen and what position he's taking up until my bosses ring me up and say, "Right, Sam, this is what's happening, let's sit down and let's see the way we go forward." And until that happens, I can't speculate on that.
Final one from me. The sad passing this week of Ray Wilkins. Sam, I'm sure you'll have come across Ray a lot over the years. Would you like to pay your tribute?
Yeah, absolutely, because I played against Ray in the old second division when I was at Bolton Wanderers and he was making his debut as a youngster like me. We both forged our way back into the first division, and obviously his playing career went a lot farther than mine. But really, Ray as a footballer was brilliant. But he was even better as a person, and I think that the more you were in his company, the more comfortable and the more enjoyment you got out of life, because he was just a fantastic guy, and it was very, very sad to see his passing this week. And obviously with that, not long after Cyril Regis, who I didn't know quite as well, but again had some massive battles with. It's happening rather too often for me. I suppose it's when you get a bit older, you've got to sort of accept it, but it is very sad. And obviously our respects and regards go on to his family.
So I'm sure we'd all echo that, but just to go back to the football, Anfield, the way City played, the way City were taken apart by Liverpool, how surprised were you by that, bearing in mind the way they played here a few days earlier?
I thought that if I have to say to my players, we've got to do to Liverpool what Liverpool did to Man City tomorrow. I think that is, if I had to put a plan together, that would be the plan, because that's the sort of plan I've put together in the past with other teams I've been at to get a result against one of the bigger teams in the Premier League at the moment. We want to be as big as them one day, but we're not quite there yet. But we can show what we're all about tomorrow by putting the game plan into place against Liverpool to try and bring a happy weekend for the Evertonian fans. And if that is a victory, then with it being so long since the last one, that'd be fantastic. If that's a positive result, I'm sure they won't be too bad either in the end. But certainly we want to try and give everybody the lift. And at the end of the day, it is two very difficult games back to back. But our own record is really, really very, very good. I think losing only 2 since I've been here shows that we have been very good, but on Saturday we'll have to be even better than what we've been recently, and certainly have to be better in the first half than we were against Man City.
What have you got to do better against Liverpool?
Defend correctly. We threw 2 goals away in the first 15 minutes or so that were avoidable, and I think that was the turning point, no doubt about that. Became about missing a chance to make it 1-1 and 1 minute later being 2-0 down, and those were the biggest difference in the entire game on how the result was going to go. And when we could have had a positive response to a 1-1, and who knows what might have happened, we were 2-0 down, and then that was always going to be difficult to come back from.
What encouraged you most about that draw at Anfield? As you say, you'd only just taken over, yet to go to Anfield and get a draw.
Well, the defending resilience, really. It was great to get so much criticism as usual about how well we defended, but we got a result rather than saying that you can't play like this or you shouldn't play like that. All the people that are so much better at the job than I am. So I think that in the end of the day, you have to set your stall out to nullify the opposition's strengths when they're better than you are. And as much as I don't like saying that, but at the moment Liverpool are better than we are. So as a team, we have to nullify their strengths. Otherwise, they'll end up doing like Man City did. They'll end up, playing rounders through you and beating you because of the quality and certainly the goal scorers they got. But if you get the game plan right and frustrate them, then you can go the other end. And like I said, you can win if you do it right. I've done it before with other teams, but like I said, the difference here is it's a big derby game. So I welcome my players handle the derby atmosphere as well as the game. I think that's a big thing that they've got to master tomorrow.
And how big a role have the fans to play? I know we've touched on the fans already.
Well, they've been great at home ever since I've been here, and I think that if there is a downside into our performance, they let us know. That's acceptable for us all if we're not performing to the level. But in the vast majority, I think only losing 2 since I've been here means that we have gone out and won most of those games, drawn a couple, and obviously lost. But at the end of the day, at home is where it wants to be the best, and I think that Saturday is one of those days where it's more than just another game. It's more than that. So players will hopefully give their best and give everything they've got to try and send the fans home happy.
And looking slightly more long term, your running's not bad. Do you still hold out hope of a European place?
If it's at all possible, but I think that the best thing from my point of view is after these 2 very difficult home games is can we still go from where we were left off at Stoke away from home because you know that's still in the back of my mind. This game is in the forefront of my mind, but at the back of my mind is, can we lay the away bogey to rest? Because it's 2 years and 4 months now that it's been going on. So it'll be very interesting when we end up playing away from home. I think it's Swansea away after Liverpool. Whether we've got the know-how and the nous to turn around the away results and follow on from Stoke with another result. But in the meantime, it's only about Saturday 12:30. And by the time we've finished, hopefully we've got a smile on our face.
But I remember you enjoyed taking Bolton into Europe. Would you embrace the Europa League with this club?
Oh, I love the Europa League. I mean, you know, got the club there twice, like you mean. So, some great journeys and, you know, some great... In those days, the Bolton fans enjoyed the away trips more than the home games. They couldn't, you know, they couldn't believe the fun that they had, like you mean. So yeah, a European place is very, very privileged, and I think that if you get that place by the fact that you've earned it in the Premier League now, it's quite some achievement the way the Premier League's going. So, while it might not be a trophy, it is something that you can say that you've managed to get the club to and you've competed in.
Sam, assuming Adjustgate is fit, how important is he tomorrow in the role that he can play?
A part of a team is when missing. If you think he's one of your key players, is a blow for us all, no matter how big your squad is. And I think it's more about his consistency as well as his impact. So hopefully he'll be available, and we'll see what team we pick tomorrow. But I think everybody has to lift the game tomorrow, and I think that the fans and the occasion will lift them. What I have to make them aware of is not to be overactive, if you like, because they can lose control. So we want controlled aggression tomorrow. We don't want to let themselves get carried away. And I think they said today, play the game, don't play the occasion. And if you play the game and play your best, that's all we can ask. If you let the occasion overawe you, then you could fall foul.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sam.